Hi, it's me with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this. They do not want the cowboy or even that text. They want to put a word and they like it like this, how the graphic is not touching the word. That's the easy part. This is going to be a little tough to get that. And I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, well, this isn't the shape because this is the background. So this is the shape right here, like a twisted tornado. That to me is going to be the hardest part, but we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to make an ellipse and hit P, put it in the center of the page, Control D to make a duplicate, holding down the Shift key so it'll grow inwardly. And then we're going to try to mimic that shape. And the only thing I can think of is to take a 2-point line and have it right there. And let's rotate that line. Well, it's going to rotate from the center. So we need to kind of put it in the center. Let's rotate that line 22.5 degrees. And then Control D and make a duplicate and just move that over somewhat wherever you think. Take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Let's nudge that over. Let's take away our lines. Let's move this back. Well, I must have jiggled it. There we go. See, I jiggled it now when I moved it back because I needed to touch those lines. I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to keep it in black so we can see it. I'm going to select it all and turn it into smooth nodes. Well, you know what? That might not really matter. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to Object. It is already a curve, so we're good. So I'm going to take these lines and I'm going to add nodes. I'm going to right click and add a node. And so it should put them right there in the middle. Now, whether these nodes are symmetrical, nope, see, they're not. We can turn them into a curve right here, but I didn't have them both. And now let's try to move this in and this in. See, I'm still getting, one of these is not a curve, so I'm going to get rid of these nodes. Whoop, got rid of too many of them. And I'm going to right click, make sure this is a curve. And then we can move that. I'm just trying to mimic that. Well, that looks good. Get rid of that node. Right click and turn it into a curve. And then get rid of that node and see what happens. You know, that it's going to be surprisingly, that might have worked. Because we're trying to get the green. It's a little bit skinnier in the middle than I have mine. So let's make it a little bit skinnier by bringing that in. Click down here and bring this in. Because here's what we're trying to do. Now this is a object. Now I moved it, but I can move it right back. Control D and make a duplicate. I've got my indexing lines on and they're in the center of the page. Not there, click it. Click off, click it again, you're there. And let's rotate it till they're almost touching. Well, 3 degrees might work. We need 3 or 4. And it's quite a bit different. You know, theirs is almost like a, when we're looking at the negative space, almost like a, so my tornado isn't over far enough. Let's try doing this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get the shape tool. Let's grab both these nodes and kind of move them. That might work. I need to zoom in and maybe put that node right on my line. You know what? I'm going to move that just a little bit. Anyway, Control D to make a duplicate. And if you're never planning on doing this, you can just stop watching right now. I'm just trying to help somebody. And let's try the 3 degrees. That looks really more like it. Our feet are touching down here, but we can change that. So the way to change that is to take your node from your very first one and put it like right there. Because the top's not touching. Get rid of that one. Control D and make a duplicate. We changed the object, so it must have changed the rotation. All right, 3 degrees. Control D. Control D. Let's just Control D. So it's going to look a little bit different than theirs, but you could change that. What? All the way around. I might have gone too far because it just kind of quit and then it popped. I'm backing up for my Control D. Sorry about that. It just, I couldn't see it coming. Oh, see, I went way around because it's doubling all those. So just a second here. Yeah, I went, and I don't really, in this case, it probably wouldn't matter, but we got double lines there. So hopefully this will take away. Yep, so go one step forward, and we got it. So what we need to do is remove our ring, I think. The only way to do that, it would be to move one of them out of the way and grab your ring, your ellipse, and let's move it out of the way. Because we don't want them interfering. Then we can move this back. Now, these are basically 120 objects. We can make them, well, they got them blue. I'm going to use black. Now, whether that, well, up close, it kind of looks the same. They got a little bit more curvature to the other side. But I think the real question, and that would look good for any graphic. So what we're going to do now, we're going to group this together, Control G. She didn't say what wordage she wanted in there, so I'm going to use CorelDraw. And I'm going to pick a font that is, or at least use something bolder. And squeeze this. Let me just squeeze it in and hit P. Now, to get it not to be in those, you know, all those letters, let's get rid of that. Let's take our CorelDraw and let's left click, right click, and let's go to Effects and Contour. One time the outside with rounded corners and 1/4 inch. You know, that's maybe a little bit much. So let's go 0.2. That'll keep it away from the letter, maybe too much, but it'll give it a good showing of what to do. Break the contour apart. Take your new contour and don't move it, nudge it. Now we need to break the curve apart to get rid of these inner pieces because I don't think we're going to want them. So go up to Object and break the curve apart and then just go through here and select. And you notice I came outside the window. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to totally black this in. Take away the outline. Move it up. And look, the cowboy is on top. So we're going to, or cowboy, the Corel is on top, the tech. So I'm going to go right here, back minus front. I'm going to take this and make it black. And I can move them in, nudge them. Now I went maybe a little bit too far with my contour, and especially with the curved letters, but that's how it's done. Let's back up here and make it not quite so much. Okay, let's go, let's just go 0.1 this time. As long as we kind of cover all the letters, yes, this will work better. Go up to Object, break contour apart, get the contour and nudge it down. Now there's two ways to get rid of these inner parts, but the easiest is to go to Object and break the curve apart. The other way is, see, I left the bad stuff at the bottom. The other way is just make a box and smart fill it, and it'll trace the outside. Now, I think it works better if you actually use a solid item. That way you can kind of see instead of just the hairline. The hairline would do it too, but back minus front. Take this and make it black in any text you want. That looks a little bit better because the graphic actually goes down in the letter. Now, some of them you might not want it all the way, and I'm pretty sure we can take the object and go up to object and group and ungroup it, and we can get rid of those little bitties. Well, let's zoom in here and see what we're going to do, because that's actually part of that bigger part. That doesn't look bad. I kind of like the way it comes up in here, and if you back up, you could probably go to object and break the curve apart and get rid of just this one and leave that one. That's a pretty cool, I like it. I don't know what wordage, and I'm way off from the design, but that can be, you can see what, I think I just don't have the curvature right. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Hope that helped them. Thank you for watching.